Halloween episode. Why not? Welcome to FMadd2 second chord. This is a Halloween episode now because I've decided that it is. It is the 29th of October and Halloween proper is on Tuesday. I'm not good at this Halloween business. I've never been good at this Halloween business. For starters, I've never been big on candy. And Halloween, that's a big part of Halloween. Thanksgiving you have turkey, and Christmas I guess you also have turkey because evidently people eat turkey and they think it's good for some reason. But in the interim, Halloween has candy. I've never really liked candy. I used to suck on suckers when I was a kid. And I had chocolate a couple times. And I always had a soft spot for Smarties. But I was never big on sweets. Even now, I'm not big on sweets. I mean, if you gave me a candy bar, maybe I would eat it. Depending on the candy bar. When was the last time I had a candy bar? Okay, so on further reflection, I still don't like candy. I have not changed all that much since the time I was 6, but my costumes have changed. I'm not really good at costumes either. When I was a kid, I would just dress up as a ninja every year because I thought ninjas were cool, and they are, ninjas. I would, grow as a child, so I would just keep buying this succession of ninja costumes. Ninja costume, ninja costume, ninja costume. I think one year I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which is, a slight innovation on the formula, but still a turtle. Still a ninja, I'm sorry. The turtle was the innovation part, not the ninja. I think it was Donatello, because I remember having the stick. Anyway, I was a ninja several times. And, that was my elementary school time. I was a ninja, and I thought it was cool, and people thought it was cool, and I got to wear the mask, and people couldn't really tell who I was, but they totally could, because, there's only so many people in the school, and there's that one kid. The overlap of people who go to that school, people who are black, and people who wear the ninja costume every year is a point. The Venn diagram is a point. That point is me. I can't remember any costumes that I have worn in that intervening time between elementary school and college. Those two distinct points on the line, I can't remember a single costume I've worn in the interim. I dressed up as a shadow once for a Halloween party that my friend hosted out in the suburbs once. I remember distinctly, it was Neo from The Matrix. It was his black coat, so I just wore all black underneath that black coat, and I said I was a shadow. I think it was a reference to a Piano Magic song. I've never really liked Piano Magic that much, but they have a song called I Came to Your Party Dressed as a Shadow, and I thought that was a great song title, which was enough for me to create a Halloween costume around it. I digress. That is the only costume in the interim I can remember. A lot of this is me just not needing costumes. But when I came to college, I remember I went to a thing. No, we were holding in our dormitory a Halloween night, a trick-or-treat for, neighborhood kids, because that's a thing that you do when you're in college. And I had purchased some time before a shirt that looked like a picnic table cover. Like, it was red and white checkers, but like fairly big checkers, like bigger. Yeah, that's it. You got the right mental image. And I wore that shirt, and it would. My mother actually. I was with my mother when I got it, and the only reason we got it because it was on sale. Like I was. I thought it was okay, and my mom was like, that's not a great shirt, but it was on sale, so we were like, what the heck? Anyway, that shirt is now the centerpiece of my annual Lumberjack costume, which I wear every year. I was, what am I going to wear for these kids? And as I lead them through the building on the trick-or-treat, and I looked at that shirt, and I was like, I can be a lumberjack. So I wore that, and I had, these jeans, and I wore, winter boots. And that was my lumberjack outfit. The year after that, I did the same thing again. And, I think I added a hat. I added a winter hat. Because, when you're out there in the outdoors, you need a hat. I tried to see if anyone I knew had any suspenders. But no one had any suspenders. And this year I'm doing the exact same costume. Except this year I found a pair of suspenders. Big ups to the person who loaned me suspenders. You're a great person. I get asked, what I am, and I had to explain that I'm a lumberjack, and this is the annual lumberjack costume, because now I've done it for 3 years and it's a thing. One guy asked me if I was Paul Bunyan. Some guy asked me, because I was, there was an event, and I went to the event in costume. Someone asked if I was Paul Bunyan, and I was like, no, I'm a lumberjack. He's like, you could be Paul Bunyan, though. And I said, well, I could, but I'm a lumberjack. He said, why are you afraid of change? It was a weird thing to be asked. And I told him, I've been wearing the lumberjack outfit for years, every year. And I'm going to wear it again next year. Just go my entire college Halloween experience as the lumberjack costume. And he said, I respect that. I respect that commitment. And I said, thank you. But really, it's just I have the pieces and it's convenient. Halloween isn't a big event for me. I've never liked sweets. So we would just go trick-or-treating. I would give all my candy to my brother. And eventually just stopped trick-or-treating. Because, you grow out of those things, in theory. Millennials are big on extending trick-or-treating into late adolescence. And I guess that's okay. I would just not trick-or-treat. And sometimes I would give out candy and sometimes no one would come. And that was just my life, my Halloween. And that's okay. I always appreciated Halloween in theory, though. When you're a kid, different holidays have different weights. Obviously, I thought Christmas was the best holiday because presents. Thanksgiving was nice because you could see all your family, and I still liked turkey when I was a kid because I didn't realize that I could have it better. St. Patrick's Day was a novelty that didn't really mean anything to me. Easter was a novelty that didn't really mean much to me either, except maybe there were eggs and maybe there were shamrocks. I don't really know. The 4th of July was fun because there were fireworks and parades. Valentine's Day was awful because you had to fill out those you remember what I'm talking about. You would have those cards. You had to fill out a card for every person in your class, and you were in the 5th grade. And sometimes there were people you didn't really like in your class, but everyone had to get a card, and you had to sit down and write everybody's name. And you had bad handwriting, and you knew it was boring, and you didn't really like doing it. And then you would get all these cards, and they wouldn't really mean anything to you, and they had candy on them, but you don't like candy. You've never really liked candy, so you're just sitting there and you're getting the candy and you're handing out all these and it just takes a while. It takes time. You have to do it, and you don't really care, and you don't do anything with the candy. You come home and you give your brother all your candy, and he's ecstatic, and you're like, I guess this is the thing that has happened, and then you forget about it. That was Valentine's Day. But Halloween, you got to dress up and look at other people who were dressed up, and sometimes the costumes were cool, so it held a higher place. It was tangible, whereas something like St. Patrick's or Easter were sort of these abstractions that were based on things that I was a little too young to understand. These cultural celebrations, as it were. I don't know what I'm going to do when I graduate college. I'm probably going to have to retire the annual lumberjack costume just because it will have represented a phase of my life in the same way that in the same way that the ninja costume represented another phase of my life. It will have been a fun 4 years, but I will hang up the shirt, as it were, because I only ever wear it for the lumberjack costume or if it's laundry day, because it looks ridiculous. It looks like a picnic table. And I'll come up with something else. Maybe like a surgeon or something. Maybe like a butcher shop butcher. I could buy an apron and a hat and cover the apron and get these gloves. That would be a relatively low effort costume. Only problem is I'd have to carry a knife around with me everywhere, and that's not a good look. You can't go carry around a bloody knife. I'll do some thinking on it and maybe I'll get back to you. Anyway, that's been F major added second chord. This has been the Halloween edition. It's been a good time. Have fun trick-or-treating if you're still into that sort of thing. Have fun handing out candy if you're into that sort of thing. Stay hydrated. Bundle up. It's getting cold out there. And yeah, take care.